Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Adult Table. I, of course, am your intrepid host and slightly inebriated, a little less so tonight because we're starting a little bit early, of the premiere freeform show of two friends talking shit. I am Trav, joined with my co host, fellow host, the man, the myth, the legend, the vanilla gorilla himself, the one and only Mr. Joey Fats. How the fuck are you doing, my friend?
Dude, I'm fucking great. It has been an absolutely just. I'm pissed the weekend is over because it was such a fucking good weekend.
Yeah.
We're going out on a high note. You know, we got Texans Steelers tonight. I'm wicked excited for that.
Mm hmm.
And then it's like real quick turnaround, and then the Broncos play the Bills on Saturday. I don't know what time yet. They haven't announced it, but
Right,
all I
that's
know is that
TBD.
I've got a Saturday night game this weekend with my team in the divisional round against the very uh, difficult Buffalo Bills. So it's going to be a great weekend. I just can't wait to get to it. I'm just wish I could fast forward through work, you know,
Oh,
because it just seems like work takes forever. You know, you're just sitting there like, ugh,
well, that's the thing. When you're
why
at
am I
work
here?
or doing anything that, you'd rather not be doing, when there's things you'd much rather be doing,
Oh, fuck yeah.
the time drags. And when you're doing things that you really enjoy and love, especially including people that you like and love, it
Mm,
goes by in a flash. That's why,
it does.
we got to appreciate the time that we do have with everybody that we care about.
That's like I tell people all the time. The only thing I value more than my paycheck is my time at home.
Yeah.
Because that's where my paycheck allows me to spend time at home. The time I'm afforded to spend at home is the best time, and my paycheck allows me to do the fun things that I want to do at home, whether it be, you know, turning laps on my racing simulator, shooting paintball guns, like whatever it is I might be
Doesn't
doing.
doesn't matter what it is as long as it's what you enjoy doing.
Doing podcasts with you and the boys,
Hell yeah.
it's always fun. So I look forward to it. Although I do have to say I'm definitely not going to be upset if we have a boring week at work this week. I won't be mad. I think we had the busiest week I've ever had in my career to this point last week. So
Shit.
it was fun. But yeah, good times.
So
But I'll be
yes,
welcoming a little bit of a reprieve if that happens to be in the cards. But if
I
not, oh well.
take it
The
when you
days will
can
go
get
by
it.
quicker.
Take it when you can get it. And I had a job at one point where they were like, "Oh, there's overtime. Don't you want to stay later and make more money?" I was like, "You can't really put a price on my sanity
Yeah, no.
and free time. And this job is shit and it pays shit.
Yeah.
It's the only reason I'm here is because I literally live across the street from it."
The worst part is when like you need when you have to take the overtime because you need the money.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like, and I see that happen to a lot of people. Like they get addicted to the overtime and then they live outside of their means. Whereas I'm
sure.
the exact opposite. Like I try to keep everything like I must be able to afford almost or at least, live comfortably. I try to live comfortably on my base salary with like no extra added overtime or anything in it because
Yeah, and
I
treat
know
the
those 40
overtime as a
hours.
bonus.
Yeah, 40 hours a week is 40 hours a week. I have to work that no matter what.
Yeah,
So I'm always going to have that. So that number in my paycheck will always be there. Anything above that is extra.
yeah. That's
So
that's the way I view it. I mean, when I was working for the railroad, some of it was mandatory during the construction of the South Coast Rail project,
mhm.
and other times I'd be on call, so I'd get called out. But that was I could get called out to the Cape or anywhere between the Cape and Framingham on any of those
Ugh,
lines
yep.
or local, and regardless, I'm getting paid 4 hours. If it takes me an hour,
Right.
okay. If it takes any longer than 4 hours, then I have to leave because it's 12 hours a day when you're on
Right.
call. Uh, Hours of service as it is. He had to keep a chart of it, and everything was fucking annoying. But
Hmm.
that was just okay. Well, if I have to do it, I have to do it. It's just part of the job. Now it's
Yeah,
like I
mandatory
can pick it
mandatory
if I
overtime
want
is
it.
less than ideal, but
My current job don't need to do it unless I request it if I want it, and then it's like, all right, yeah, stay a couple hours later if you want, or come in on the weekend and just do whatever, which
right.
I haven't done yet. But the option is there. At least it's an option.
Correct. And that's the thing. Like we have mandatory overtime that happens all the time at my
Yeah,
job. I mean, it just is what it is. You need X amount of people to run the facility, and if they need you, they need you, and that falls under institutional needs, and you're staying. So it is what it is, though. There's really no, I don't mind it. It happens so infrequently, really. because most people just take the overtime anyway, so you don't really need to get forced to stay. It does happen, but it's not nearly as bad as it like used to be. Like during COVID, it was super bad.
Yeah.
During COVID, there was no such thing as an 8-hour shift at my work. It was just if you came in, you were staying for 16. So, which sucked, but it was it just comes with the territory. So, but yeah, I try to live within my means. That way, my 80 hours a paycheck can cover my bills, my groceries, and most of my little odds and ends and things like that to keep me afloat.
Yeah, and anything beyond that is supplemental at that point. So
anything over that at this point is going to my hot tub fund. So
hell yeah. Oh man, I'd love like one of those. My girlfriend was just in one a little earlier. She just hopped into the chat. Thank you, Kelsey. She's currently in Vegas right now.
Oh,
Lucky
nice.
her.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, she winning too. She's not a big gambler, but she hasn't lost much, if anything.
I'm not a big gambler. It's kind of been like one hang about going to Vegas. Everybody's like, oh, even if you don't gamble, you should go. And I'm like, yeah, I get that, but like, I'm not.
It's the main reason it exists. There's plenty of other things to do, but that's the main draw.
Right. It's like going to an amusement park and not getting on the roller coaster. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, what are we here for? You know what I mean? I didn't come here just to take a picture with Mickey and leave. Like, no, I want to ride Space Mountain. But yeah, I'm just not like a huge gambling guy. I will gamble. Like, I gamble on like the cruise ships a lot. Not a lot, I should say. Like, but I go down like once a night.
Yeah, when in Rome, I'll throw a few bucks, but I'm not going crazy with it because it's just like, okay, you got to draw the line. It's easy to get carried away, especially when 24/7 drinking is involved. It's just like, yeah.
And I'm like, and at what point, like, where do I draw the line, right? Like, all right, like I'm down $500, and like, all right, well, yeah, you're gonna have to spend a little bit of money to make some money. But I'm like, where do I draw the line? Like, okay, like, do I stop at 500? Do I go to $1,000? Like, do I go to 1,500? Like, what if I don't hit by the time I'm 1,000 down? I leave. I'm like, well, I just wasted $1,000. Like,
yeah,
no, like that seems stupid to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Like
I like my little $10 parlays that I have, on Sunday afternoons. And if I hit one, I hit one. I hit one call like 2 weeks ago. Paid me out a little bit. I almost hit one this weekend. I was one fucking thing off. I was so pissed.
But that's $10 here and there. It's not
$10, right?
You're not.
If I hit one of these parlays, I'm basically good for the year.
You're not mortgaging your house because you put it all on black or something like that. It's fucking
no. But if you are gonna play roulette, I definitely advise putting it all in black. Just
like Wesley Snipes said. Yeah.
Yep. Put it all in black. Black 17 is my go-to.
Actually, Kelsey hit on roulette. She was hot at the roulette table, apparently.
Roulette's my game. If I do gamble, that's my game. And I do pretty well with it. Like, I think I didn't lose a ton. I didn't make any money this year. It's the first time I've gone on a cruise and not come out with, like, a net positive in terms of, like, more money than I came with, which was odd. But I wasn't feeling it this time around. Like, I'm one of those, like, when I gamble, I really got to be, like,
in the zone
and feeling it. Like, I gotta be like, oh yeah, like we're hitting tonight. Like, this is we're doing this. You know what I mean? Last year we went on the cruise and we walked through the casino and I had like $50 in my pocket, whatever it was. I think I put $50. I think I put $30 down. I took 2 rolls on the roulette table, lost $20. Put the last 30 I had on 17 black and I hit. For $30. So it was like whatever, 900 something bucks or whatever I won, and I was like, boom, done. There
okay, yep, walk away.
Yep. And the guy, the table, I don't even call him a dealer in roulette, but whatever. He's sitting there and he's like, cashing out. I was like, oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. So I took the money. I threw him $50 tip and walked out of the casino with $1,000 in my pocket. And it was great.
Yeah.
This year I didn't feel that. I didn't have that like, oh yeah, we're going to hit one tonight. I didn't have that. I wasn't in that. I didn't have that killer instinct in me this time, but
you need to follow the sage like wisdom of the late great Kenny Rogers and know when to hold him, know when to fold him. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, roulette is not a card game, but
no, it is not.
But that still stands.
Furthest thing from.
The only other I would fuck around with roulette and blackjack just because blackjack you have some control over it.
Blackjack, I would like to play. I'd like to play. I almost went to the blackjack table once because there was nobody else at it. Which I like because I know like in blackjack, like you're all like supposed to kind of like read the table the same and be on the same page so that because you're playing the house.
Yeah,
You
well,
know
with
what I
more
mean?
people, there's more cards in play. When it's just you and the dealer, then it's just one on
Yeah,
one.
it's just all right. Like I have 20, and they're like, hit me, sir. You have 20. And you're like, I like to live dangerously.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
get a fucking
yeah,
10
10
or a
bust.
face card.
I didn't see that coming. Yeah,
Mm, yeah,
but
Austin
no,
Powers.
I almost went and played blackjack because I there was nobody there, and I don't want to be that guy that like fucks it up for everybody else at the table that like hits when they shouldn't or doesn't whatever. What do they call it? Like not was it split? Is it split? Is that how in blackjack or is double down or whatever? Like I forget what you can like split the cards and then play two. Like I don't
Uh,
know.
yeah, I believe
It's
you can split in blackjack. I've never actually played it. Like in a casino. I've fucked around with like some online hold'em here and there in the past.
Texas
And
Hold'em is my favorite game to play because it's the game I know the best
sure,
and the game I've played the most. Also, it's like the one game where like you're not like it takes the most amount of work to win the least amount of money.
mm,
You know what I mean? Because like you got to really work to get like to win. Like you can win a lot of money playing poker, but you got to sit there for a long time,
yeah, and you
but,
also have to be able to read people.
which I like.
Yeah,
Even though I don't do it, and I don't like, I don't. So when I go to the casino, I don't play. How do I say this? It's like it's the difference between playing guitar and being a guitarist, right? Like a
yeah, no, I
guitarist
get that analogy.
is somebody who can play anything. Playing the guitar is like I can play, Smoke on the Water. They're like, okay,
Yeah,
you can play a guitar, like you can play a song on a guitar. Whereas like when I go to the casino, I don't play poker, I just play cards.
hmm
And like I'm not worried about like pre-flop betting habits and what's this guy doing and I'm putting this guy on that. I'm like, no. I look at my whole cards. If I can usually make a player's number out of it that I like, I'll play them. So if it's like 8-7 suited, I'm like, oh hell yeah, dude, Ed McCaffrey, like let's go,
yeah,
and I'll play that. Or my favorite is 2-7 offsuit because it's statistically one of the worst hands you can get, and nobody ever expects you to have it, but it's Steve Atwater's number, so I always play it. And I've gotten like bitched at by people all the time at Foxwoods. Like I've had people get up and walk off the table because I called a pre-flop raise with 2-7 offsuit, and then I flopped 7-7-2. And it's like, gotcha, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, meanwhile, they're sitting on like ace king suited, and they're like, all right, and there's no flush draw to be had, and they're like, fuck.
right.
But they keep raising because they're like, what the fuck could he possibly have?
It's the luck of the draw.
Yeah, they're like, he's got to have something like I do. So now they're thinking like, oh, we're probably playing like at best high pair or, high card or whatever. And then I flip over a 7 and a 2, and they're like, what the fuck? Why were you even in this hand? And I'm like, that's why.
Yeah, I wait.
See all these chips that are in front of me now? That's why I was in this hand.
Yeah, this is why. Yeah, thank you. Pull him towards you.
But yeah, I'm that asshole, and I just like to talk. You know me, obviously. I just like to sit there, talk shit.
You
and
know.
I always play. Yeah,
Never.
Right? Shocking. I always play the 2-4 limit table at Foxwoods when I go because I call it the kiddie table. Because I like to make my money stretch. You know what I mean? I want to buy in with $100 and stretch my money out, get some free drinks, like hang out for a bit, meet people, talk. Like one night we were sitting at a table and Cedric Maxwell, the old Celtics legend, was right next to us.
Oh, Sid, yeah.
At another table. So it was Big Ced and a bunch of guys, and they all got big stacks of very colorful chips in front of them. Meanwhile, I got like the $2 and $4 chips in front of me and a very little stack of it. And I'm talking my shit and this and that, and Cedric Maxwell and the guys on the other table are fucking dying laughing. And they're like, yo, can we get this guy on our table? Like, we need some entertainment over here. Like, and I was like, no, boys. I was like, you're playing real poker. I was like, I'm at the kiddie table. Okay, this is where the kids play. And all the guys at my table like got offended because like, we mean it's a kiddie table, bro. What the fuck? And I was like,
I said what I said.
I was like, look at the stacks of chips that they have, and look at the stacks of chips we have, and you tell me what the difference is. Like, I don't think I need to point it out any more than that. And Cedric Maxwell's dying laughing, and I was like, "What's up, Biscuit?" And he's like, "How you doing, son?"
That's a fucking great story, man.
And dude, it was so fun, and like, so I'm just sitting there, and like, they're yucking it up, and they're like, "Stop talking to other people at the other tables." I'm like, calm down. I'm like, I'm at the kiddie table, relax.
Shut up.
And but that was the night. You get the one guy, he's got the hood on, and the sunglasses, and the earbuds in, and you're like, "Oh, here we go." Like Mr. Professional Poker Player. Like, there's nothing worse than having those guys show up at like a charity poker tournament too. Like, like you're like, "Oh, come on, dude, really?"
This is for charity. Like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, we're here to have fun. Like, this is the and I don't know. I've missed the charity tournament the last 2 years because I kept waking up late, and missing it because I worked the night before. and I missed it the last 2 years. The Eric Fernandez Memorial one, which is the only one I play, by the way. But it's at the Panthers Club. I think it's April 11th this year. For anybody interested, it's open invite. It's a great fucking great turnout every year. It's
Panthers
so
Club, located, of course, in New Bedford, right next to the Madeira Feast Grounds.
Ye old feast grounds. But it's one of my favorite events of the year because again, I'm not a big poker guy. I just love to go throw some cards around, talk some shit, and it's for a great cause. And it's a bunch of my buddies that put it together, and they do a lot of work that like behind the scenes that people don't see. And so I always try to support.
Yeah, so you're there for the right reasons.
Yes, but you always get like those people that are there, and they're like, God, hurry up, blinds are going to go up. We got to get more hands in. And you're like, dude, shut up. Like, who cares? Like, we're here to donate money to charity. Like, if I win, I'm probably giving it all back anyway. So what the fuck, or at least half of it.
Yeah,
you know.
So it is what it is. I'll leave
the game very far though, because my problem is with poker too. I get bored, and when I get bored and my ADD starts kicking in, I start throwing money around like I'm Bill Gates, and usually leads to my early demise. But that's okay. I'm not there to win anyway.
Exactly.
Have fun. It's all about fun. God damn it.
And I'll leave the gambling talk off with the quote from Dave Attell from Skanks for the Memories, that special that he had, an album. Everyone's gambling story starts off so great. I was up $10,000. Next thing you know, I'm blowing a guy for a sandwich.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I was up 10,000. Why didn't you leave? Well, I was hot.
Yeah.
No, you weren't. You were just, it's called luck. Like, it comes and goes. You should probably leave at that point, you know?
If you're ever up on the house, that's, even if you're up by $1, walk away.
Yeah, you're already winning. My favorite, I'll tell you this last one, my favorite roulette story ever, because it's metal as fuck. We were on my honeymoon 10 years ago. We were on a cruise ship in the Mediterranean, and we were playing roulette. And I'm doing pretty good that night. Like, I was feeling it. You know what I mean? I was feeling it. So I was up like, I don't know, $200-300 at one point off my like $25 buy-in or $50 buy-in, whatever it was.
Not bad.
And slowly it was dwindling down. Like, it was going away a little bit. And I got down to like $1.80, and I was like, I got to make a move or get out of here. Like, so I'm like, fuck it. So I usually play like 5 numbers in the color. I hedge with the color and then put, $10 on the table and $10 on a color. So $20 a roll. And it usually works out pretty well for me, because if I don't hit the number, at least half the time I'll hit the color, and I at least get my $10 back. So until I decide, like, all right, I'm gonna make a move. So 6 comes up, 6 black comes up. I'm like, damn, but I hit black. Okay, cool. Spin it again. 6 black comes up a second time in a row. I'm like, well, that's rare. That doesn't always happen. And then I said, I think I had, I don't know, I think it was down. I was, like I said, like $80. I said, fuck this. I put $50 on 6 black. Everything, no color, no nothing, just $50 on 6 black. I'm like, I'll take the 100 and whatever $50. I think I had like $200. I'll take the $150 I got left. I'll call it a night, and if this hits, it hits. If not, it's not. But I'm thinking, I'm like, if you're in the devil's playground, you better play as digits. And sure as shit, they spin the thing. 6 black comes up a third time in a row. 6,
the
6,
number
6.
of the beast.
And I was just like, fucking metal, bro. Fuck yeah. The whole place is going fucking ape shit. Like, everybody's going nuts. They're like, couldn't believe it, because I just pushed this. I put a $50 chip on. They're like, what? They're like, no fucking way. And then it comes up again. It was awesome. The whole place was like celebrating. Everybody's fucking grabbing me, like shaking, like high-fiving and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah. I was like, this is the most metal game of roulette I've ever played. And I took whatever, I don't forget how much I won, $1,500, whatever it was. Took it, fucking walked across the hallway to the duty-free shop. They had buy one, get one free bottles of Johnny Walker Blue.
There you go.
$299. So $1.50 a bottle. Bang. Got me 2 bottles of Johnny Blue, went back to the room and took my money. I was like, sweet.
Goddamn, you can't beat that. And I would have taken out the phone, busted out Spotify or YouTube, and start playing Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden. And just that's it.
I think I did once we got back to the room, actually.
How can you not? It's
yeah, exactly. It was just like, I was like, well, I'm like, Satan makes himself present from time to time. He's a good guy to have on your side, just saying. You don't want to be, he's one of those friends you keep at arm distance, but, good to, be on his good side.
Yeah, that's why you got to thank the upstairs and downstairs from time to time, because you never know who's actually on your side.
You don't.
And that leads us into the
not knowing on whose side you're on.
Yeah, and transitioning, and in this case, into the afterlife.
Mm.
Renee Nicole Good.
Oof.
That's the big news of the week. This is the topic of
This
this
is the
episode.
topic.
That's why I said an episode about a funny thing that happened.
Mhm.
Uh,
Not ha funny, but more like funny.
it, and not even ironic, because it's not ironic. It's just it's
Mm.
funny how these things work out and for the reasons behind them.
Yeah.
So of course, as we all know, this woman was shot and killed by an ICE agent, and the spin on the left is so absurdly retarded. I can't even
Weapons
begin
grade retarded.
to. It was one thing when we saw the footage from like the first release video, and then the second. The second definitely showed the agent being struck by the vehicle.
We better be careful about saying retarded though. We don't want to end up on Jim's list.
Again, if he, the only way I'm on his list is if he follows me on X. But before I got kicked off of Facebook last year, I don't think he followed me on there either. But I definitely called him a retard several times.
I think he's going to be losing track at this point.
So he might not have named me or listed me, but I do still feel seen by him in that way. So you know that warms my heart. But I'll just get my 2 cents in it out of the way from the get-go. She should not have been there. She should not have been doing what she was doing. And if people want to draw comparisons to anything, it happened a day after the anniversary of J6, which I don't even understand why that's even brought up anymore.
I don't even understand. I don't even consider it an anniversary. It's just a day.
But they're like, oh, what a terrible day, and blah, blah, blah. And never
9/11.
Never yet. That comparison is insulting to everyone that died in 9/11.
Extremely insulting.
And
also insulting to the general intelligence of the masses, because
they're not even remotely comparable.
Right. We all know that's not true, and yet you say it anyway.
But they mourn the deaths of the officers that died, quote unquote, because of that day, which was zero.
Which was zero, yes. Brian Sicknick did die a few days later, but completely unrelated.
Indirectly. All of them were indirect. Nothing directly because of that. So the reason I'm bringing that up, too, is not only because it happened a day after J6, it's also because it draws a comparison to Ashley Babbitt, who I will also agree was in a place that she shouldn't have been. However, the big major factor is she didn't attack anybody. She didn't intend to harm anybody. She just happened to be there. This woman, Renee Good, not so ironic last name actually in this case, was actively obstructing federal agents from doing their job. She's now known to be a professional instigator and part of a group that watches ICE, calls them out when they're in certain areas, specifically in Minneapolis and the neighboring areas, suburbs where she resided in, and at least at the time, because she was a recent transplant, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think I don't believe. I think some of the information that's been coming out about her has been actually extremely inaccurate.
Right.
So I don't know what to believe. I had heard that she was not she's not a resident of Minneapolis, or she was just staying there, or she had just moved there, or whatever. But yeah,
it's like you said, it's cloudy. I'm still waiting on any kind of
almost
concrete information on that.
It's almost it feels like it's almost intentionally cloudy too.
Yes, but what isn't
want people to know.
But what isn't cloudy is the footage from any angle at this point in time, especially, and it's now known that the footage from the officer himself wasn't body cam; it was from his cell phone. But that doesn't detract from it being from his perspective.
Right.
And you could already see him being struck in the second video footage.
Mm-hmm.
And then clearly hear it in
the cell phone video.
Yes. And the mental gymnastics that left her doing to try and exonerate this woman from what she was doing after that footage in particular, because you can clearly tell why her and her wife were there.
Mm-hmm.
Instigating, getting in the way. Oh, well, she started to turn her wheel to the right. And he put himself in harm's way by standing in front of a moving vehicle. He was walking around the vehicle. It wasn't moving at the time.
Correct.
And when she did turn the wheel, that's when he was directly in front of it, and she hit the accelerator. Thankfully, there was ice on the ground, on the asphalt there, that caused her to not to skid out and not accelerate as fast as she could.
Intended.
But it's clear to me that if she didn't intend to hit him, doesn't matter. She did. And even if she didn't, she was attempting to flee after being given orders to exit the vehicle. And a lot of the leftists will say they don't have that kind of authority. They're not police. It's like, well, they're higher than that. They're federal.
Actually, they do have that authority. If you're impeding them,
yes,
they are allowed. They are allowed to detain you if you actively engage in impeding a federal investigation. Now, they can't arrest you, charge you, shit like that. Like, the jurisdiction gets a little bit murky.
They can be detained.
They can detain you at that point. So that's so anybody saying otherwise is full of shit or just doesn't know. My thing with this, Trav, and again, you kind of laid out the reasons already, but she was in a place she shouldn't have been, doing something she knew she shouldn't have been doing, and then her wife gets out of the car, taunts the agents, and continues filming, encourages her to drive away.
Drive, baby, drive.
Drive, baby, drive, and then she hits the officer. Now, the people that are saying, like, oh, he wasn't in harm's way, he could have just got out of the way, this, that, the other thing. I don't think you've ever been involved with somebody trying to hit you with a car. Unfortunately, I have, but it's not that easy to just step out of the way, especially when you're trying to get somebody out of a vehicle. This is something law enforcement officials deal with all day, every day, and it's one of the biggest reasons why I didn't become a real cop, was because I didn't want to have to deal with shit like this with the general public. At least now, the people I deal with, it's already confirmed that they are what they are.
Yeah, it's self-contained.
And it's like, I know what I'm walking into every day. I don't know what I'm walking up to when I go to the window of a car at 3:00 in the morning on 24. You know what I mean? Like, like a state trooper would. That being said, you made a great point that, the people are trying to say, well, he shouldn't have put himself in front of a moving car. The car wasn't moving at the time. So by putting himself in front of the car, yes, it's putting yourself in a dangerous spot, but you're also assuming that you have to assume the person's going to comply.
Yeah, it's part of that. Because she was already ordered to get out. It's a precaution. Yeah. It's a measure to be like, well, surely this person isn't stupid enough to try and
you're not
go
gonna,
through me.
And if you do, you're gonna run over a federal officer. Now, and let's forget for a half a second that this guy had been hit and dragged by a car 6 months ago already, like in the line of duty. So, and everybody's like, well, he was trigger happy because of that. No, I don't think that made him trigger happy. I think what people need to understand is that I don't think this woman was intending to try to kill the agent. I just don't think she cared if she did.
Yeah.
She was
with you on that.
I'm going to do this. If he dies, he dies. I'll deal with that when I get to it. You know what I mean? Like, and people are like, well, she was scared and she was this.
She was smiling.
She was smiling like, yeah, okay. Like, she thought she was completely in the right, like most of these smug liberal retards do. And this is now getting to the point, and again, it's tragic that she's dead. There really is no reason for her to be dead.
Yes.
Whether you want to put that on the ICE agent for pulling the trigger, or you want to put it on her for being in a position that she should have never been put in the first place, because she put herself there. And again, she put herself there. No one told her to be there. No one forced her to do any of that.
It's not her job or responsibility to do that.
Exactly. So the accountability has to fall it's going to fall on her. The agent, they were trying to make an apprehension. They were going to detain her because she had blocked the road so that they couldn't go. They couldn't move. Which, again, anytime you're in a rolling motorcade or anything like that, what's the most dangerous place to be? Stopped. So you're a sitting duck. You don't want that happening.
Yeah, that's how ambushes happen.
Not only that, yeah, you make somebody a sitting duck, and they're a target now for anybody who might have some really bad intentions. All that being said, it's a dangerous situation to put an agent, or agents in this case, in. She chose to put them in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Then she chose to try to use her 4,000-pound vehicle as a weapon, which we all know, and this has been commonplace now for a very long time, that a car is considered a deadly weapon when it is used in that manner.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. Precedent's been set. There's no coming back from that. So whether she meant to injure or kill the officer, I don't know. I don't know if that's what she wanted to do. Was she just trying to get out of there cleanly? Maybe. Maybe she made a mistake. Maybe she just, maybe the ice on the road, didn't let the car turn as sharply as she thought it should have, and it hit the agent, and and he pulled the trigger. Now, all that doesn't matter. The bottom line is, you hit a federal agent with your car.
Mm-hmm.
He is 100% justified to use lethal force in order to try to stop you.
Yeah.
Because you don't know if she's going to drive and then slam on the brakes, throw that thing in reverse, and try to run over your body while you're laying on the ground.
And the other guys there too. Like,
all you know is that her intention, that she hit you, and at that point, you have to, as a law enforcement officer, take that as a threat against your life.
Yeah, and
period.
They the left are trying to defend her in this too, are saying, oh well, she was only going like 1 mile per hour. When she, even
Doesn't
if
matter.
she did, and they're denying that she hit him at all, which is clear that she did.
You clearly hit him.
But
That's the thing.
the speed does not matter. It's the fact that she did and the weight of the vehicle.
Right. A car going 1 mile an hour can still crush your skull. Don't worry.
Or internal organs. Any number of types of injuries. So
I have a very good friend that was hit by a car at work. We were leaving work in the morning, and the glare was super bad with the way the direction was going, and there was ice on the windows, and the driver couldn't see. And the car couldn't have been going more than 5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour tops. And she got literally run over. And it banged her up. Like it's been a rough go for her, recovering from these injuries. And I would happen to be the first one there after it happened, because I was leaving at the same time. And it was an ugly situation. I mean, it's not something to fuck around with. Cars are not something to fuck around with. Like 40,000 people a year die in vehicles and vehicle related accidents.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are we treating this like a car is just some fucking whatever? Which, I mean, I guess is a microcosm of the way people drive, the way people think when they drive too, because everybody thinks they're invisible in their car until they get into an accident and they realize, you're only strapped in by a seatbelt, and when your head smashes off that A-pillar because your car stops so abruptly, and your brain bleeds out internally, and you die because of it, that can happen. Like, it happens all the time, actually. But it just goes to show you that people don't take vehicles seriously, again, which is a whole nother problem. But in this case, Trav, they're trying to make it seem like, oh, come on, like, you gotta, he could have just stepped out of the way, or, and let me just put it to you this way. Maybe she could have just put the vehicle in park and put her hands out the window and got out.
And comply, or better yet, not even be there in the first place.
Yeah, but she made the conscious decision to hit the accelerator and point her car at a federal agent. Like, I don't know, in what world do these people live in where you can contact a federal agent with your car in a manner that's suggesting you're intending to cause extreme bodily harm or death, that you just like, oh well, we just give her a pass. Like, come on.
Well, that
wasn't that bad.
Yeah. That brings me to my next point. I do fully believe now that we have a true epidemic, even worse than COVID, in a more legitimate and tangible one, in white liberal women with their sense of self-entitlement and their ability to believe that they are like the main character in reality, and they can interject themselves into any kind of situation and be untouchable. And because I am doing good in their minds, and this is what I believe is right, and I can do whatever I want because I say so, and anybody that disagrees with me is a fascist, a Nazi, everything horrible under the sun, and now it leads to this. And this will lead now to more of these people, specifically white liberal women, not all women,
Mm-hmm.
and not all white women, and not all white liberal women, but the hardcore ones, like she clearly was.
But we've seen a very clear, distinct pattern amongst white liberal women and the way that their actions, their words, and how they've chosen to carry themselves over the last, I'd say, 5 to 10 years.
And they're the first to play the victim cards, as we're seeing here now. But this is going to embolden more of them to be even more present in situations like this, unfortunately. And I really do feel like it's a scourge on our country right now, because they all get this in their head that they are much more important than anybody else, that they need to put themselves out there like this. And as you can see, it can end horribly for them. And I'm not celebrating what happened. It is a tragedy.
It is, and I think
but
that's
it was easily avoidable.
I think a lot of people, it's become so polarizing, right? Because we've seen the left celebrate, be upset when Trump got shot and didn't get killed.
Yep.
And God damn it, we just missed him, son of a bitch, and all that rhetoric, right? That we saw for a whole year. And then we saw it again when Charlie Kirk got killed in September.
Mm-hmm.
They celebrated. Literally, people celebrated this guy's getting killed.
Yeah.
And then, the right, then it causes people on the right to fire back, right? Like to respond to that. And I think a lot of people on the right are getting tired of taking the high road in terms of no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to celebrate someone's demise. We're not going to celebrate somebody. But
mm-hmm.
you kind of after a while, especially after Charlie Kirk, is when it really became holy shit, people I know personally, you're fucking monsters. You don't even realize it because you're so sanctimonious and you're so self-important that you just think that your farts don't stink, and your level of smug and attitude and arrogance has just exceeded anything within reason, and you think you're doing it because you think, well, I'm doing it for all the right reasons, and you're just so self-righteous about it that you don't stop and think that maybe maybe everybody I disagree with isn't a Nazi. Because again, and the reason why I fired back at people so hard when Charlie Kirk got killed was because they were celebrating Charlie Kirk getting killed. And I'm like, and they're saying all these terrible things about Charlie Kirk. I'm like, I happen to agree with a lot of what Charlie Kirk says. I happen to think Charlie Kirk was, really good at what he did. And he was an excellent role model. And he was a really good person, did all these things. So
sure.
De facto, by you saying you're glad he's dead, I have only one assumption to make, is that if I were to get killed, you would be happy about it too.
Yeah, and we touched on that.
Mm-hmm. Again, to your point though, we're not celebrating this woman getting killed. Far from it. It's tragedy. It's a tragedy. This woman should be, picking her kid up from daycare this afternoon and having dinner with him right now as we speak, or whatever. Instead, she's got a hole in her face and she's 6 feet under the ground. For what reason? Why? What were you doing? What did you think was so important that you went out to defend illegal aliens who are criminals, sex traffickers, rapists, drug dealers, murderers, the whole nine? They cover the whole gamut. You chose to go out and literally put your life on the line and lose your life defending those people who couldn't give two fucks about you. In fact, they would rape and murder you in a heartbeat.
Yep.
You chose to let your son grow up without any parents because you wanted to go and defend criminals and be a thorn in the side of federal agents because what? Facebook likes? What I don't even understand what you were thinking.
Social media has caused this problem because now it puts this, like I said, this feeling of self-entitlement and I'm the main character of life, and basically I'm kind of invincible and look how great I am.
Little movie.
Social media is also another plague. And I understand why it works.
I've been saying this since Facebook came out. I was like, this is gonna be the end. This is the end of society as we know it.
And granted, it's not lost on me that we are currently on broadcasting on a social media site.
Of course not. But you and I both know that we can comment on things and not go out and act on them. Like, I'm not gonna go out and find out where the next anti-ICE immigration, whatever group is that's going to go and try to impede ICE agents in Boston, and then go start fighting those people on behalf of ICE. Like, nope,
it's not your
place.
It's not your place, not your job, not your responsibility.
Exactly.
Because
if they want to, if somebody wants to defend them, I mean, good, more power to you. I'd support you doing it. I'm not going to do it because I'm not letting my wife, go the next, whatever many years she's left on this earth, without a husband. I'm not letting my family, my parents, have to bury a son because I went and did something fucking stupid, like, go like, and not even to say that, like, how could I put this? Like, putting myself in a situation where I knew there was a greater chance of me meeting my demise for little to no gain.
Yeah.
Like, no one's gonna. What do you think? The ICE agents are gonna fucking. What are they gonna send me a check? Like, hey man, we saw what you did that day. Thanks. Here's $50. Like,
yeah, in a fucking edible arrangement. Like, it's one thing to protest in like a public place that is sanctioned, like a park or whatever, sidewalks. But as soon as you get in the way on a public road, and you're blocking not only them but also just regular other day people that are just trying to live their lives the way you should be doing, especially as a parent, all bets are off. And especially when you hit them, whether intentionally or not, that's it. She sealed her fate.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the officer acted accordingly.
In no way, shape, or form, under any circumstances, are you allowed to assault a police officer and not have them match the response with a response.
Yeah.
Like, people don't, and that's the other thing too. I see a lot of people talking online, about, oh, he wasn't even in danger. He wasn't this. Like, first of all, as someone who's been trained in, with uses of force, like, and we have what we call a use of force pyramid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have different levels of resistance, if you will, that a criminal or a suspect can give you, and each level, warrants a different level of.
It escalates, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It escalates it. So, like passively, like what do they say? Like passive resistance, right? Like, let's just say a guy's sitting there, like, sir, you're under arrest.
I'm not going to move. Yeah.
Not moving. That's passive resistance, right? You can't whip out your fucking gun and put 6 in his back because of that. No, you have to get up, get him up, and then if he fights you, then you're allowed to kind of fight him back and use force to get his arms behind his back and put him in cuffs. If he pulls out a weapon, you're allowed, you can tase him. If he pulls out a gun, you pull out your gun. Like, it escalates. It's called a use of force pyramid. You can look it up. Almost every single law enforcement agency in the world uses one, and they're all pretty much the same.
Yeah.
The one in prison might be a little bit different from the one that you use when you're walking the beat on the street, but
sure.
but the principles are the same.
Generally speaking, yes, they are.
And the biggest thing they teach you when you're going through these use of force issues is, especially when you're writing your report, because your report is going to be used in court should it go there. It is an official document. It needs to be accurate, and you need to be very clear and concise. And one of the things they will always tell us is that, any use of force, your threat perception is your biggest, is your key. Now, it's not a get out of jail free card, because you can't just say, like, oh, well, I thought he was going to kill me. It's like, yeah, but he was just sitting there doing nothing. Why did you pull out your gun and shoot him? That doesn't work. But if the guy's reaching in his pocket and he's trying to go for something, and he pulls out say he's got a cell phone in his hand, but you can't quite make it out, and you pull your gun and you shoot him, you can say, well, my threat perception was that he'd reached into his pocket to pull out a firearm. He pulls out a black object. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, you don't know what it is.
I'm not waiting around for him to shoot me and then be like, oh, it's a gun. Let me shoot back. No, I have the right to defend myself and preserve my life. And my threat perception was that of that met this level of using lethal force.
Mm-hmm.
That officer's threat perception was that he was hit with a car. The car accelerated at him quickly, hit him, and he fired simultaneously.
Yeah.
Because he'd already had his gun out because they were telling the woman to get out of the car, and she was not. And when you stop following lawful orders given to you, whether I don't care whether you like it or not, I don't listen. And again, I'm not one of these I'm not some bootlicking fucking cops are the best. Fuck the police. I'm team fuck the police 9 out of 10 times. But most of the time, but you have to understand, at that point, your fight for that day is over.
Yeah.
You lost. Okay, you're gonna lose that day. Your next fight now is in court.
Yeah, but you're gonna live another day.
Right.
Like, yeah, you're gonna have to deal with the circumstances, but you're not fucking dead.
Right. And listen,
Potentially.
I don't like it. I don't like, we've all seen it. I mean, you and I have talked ad nauseum about cops overstepping their bounds with the Karen retrial. I mean, we know there are crooked cops. We know that there are people that do shitty things to innocent people. Like, we know that happens, which is why we're all fucking wary, when we get pulled over and everybody's got cell phones and they take them out because, and even though it's most of the time it's just to agitate the cop and put him in a position where, like, you want to, it's a gotcha moment, but there are times where that is necessary and it is for the safety of everybody involved. Now, most cops wear body cameras. However, I don't control the body camera footage, so I'd like my own copy of that if I could have it. You know what I mean? Bottom line is, these cops were not out to get this woman.
No.
She was in their way. They exercised their right to detain her at that moment because she was impeding a federal law enforcement operation. And they had the right to do that. She chose not to comply. These were the results.
And she was egged on by her wife. She was laughing. I like the left when they're saying her last words were, "I'm not mad at you." But the way she said it was extremely sarcastic. And she's laughing the whole time.
I don't care if you're mad at me or not. That's not the point. Like, I'm not here to worry about whether or not what your thoughts and feelings are. Like,
but she just tried to make a 3-point turn to leave.
Bullshit she did.
That's because she was parked perpendicular into the road, blocking one lane of traffic. So she had to go to the right in that scenario.
And if that's a 3-point turn, whatever driving school passed her needs to be fucking ripped off, like taken off the
I mean, it wasn't because she didn't need to back up in the first place other than to try to turn right, which she did, and then into the officer.
Correct. She chose to hit a federal police officer. Again, I don't know what else to tell you. If you think that this woman was innocent or didn't do anything, now, did she deserve to die? No, I don't think she deserved to die. I really don't. I mean, I don't think anybody deserves to die for, even if it was an egregious mistake.
Agreed.
The bottom line is that cop didn't know what her intentions were.
And it's a split-second thing. Again, anybody saying, "Oh, he could have just stepped to the side. Oh, he could have shot the tires out. Oh, he could have just shot the engine block and the car would have stuck." This isn't Bad Boys 2. Like, this isn't a fucking Michael Bay movie. That's not how reality works.
It's the whole, like, why didn't you just shoot him in the kneecap crowd? You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, because I'm fucking John Wick, right? Like, because a cop is John Wick. And then the same people, and this is what kills me about these people, is they talk out of both sides of their mouths. They're like, well, why didn't you just shoot him in the kneecap or shoot the tires out? Be like, what? Like, that's not how, like, first of all, we're not trained enough to do that. It's not how a gun works. And then they're like, well, maybe they should have more training. I'm like, aren't you the same people that wanted to fund the police and take away all their money for training?
Yeah.
Like, so you want less trained individuals out on the streets policing, but you want to hold them accountable when their training fails them. I don't understand. There's no logic.
It's either one or the other. You either don't want them to be a thing at all, or you want them to have more training. Like, which is it?
You know, that's the truth. The bottom line is they don't want cops anywhere.
No,
because they don't want to be. They don't want to be held accountable.
And they'll also say, they said, oh well, if he was dragged by a car in an incident over the summer, doesn't he have PTSD? Shouldn't he be off on leave or whatever? And I believe the protocol is like 3 months tops. It can depend, but depending on the the
it depends on the
department
individual.
and the
Like
individual too.
if he wanted to, and I don't know what ICE is like, what the ICE like, what that
The
organization's
protocol is for them. Yeah.
policy is on like I know like if I get injured and it's inmate related and I'm forced to retire, I can get like I think like 80% or up to 100%. So in some cases, depending on how bad it is and how bad the agency failed
Sure.
to protect me. But that all goes to court and you got to fight for it and all this other stuff. But if it's inmate related, it's one thing. If it's just like, say, like I slip and fall and I'm forced to retire or whatever,
That's totally different.
that's totally different. You're not getting 80 or 100% in that case. So in his case, it was, I don't know, you wouldn't call it inmate related, but I don't know what they would call it, suspect related, maybe. Like, he went
Perhaps,
to stop
yeah.
a vehicle, got dragged by a car. If his injuries he had sustained, and you could make the case for PTSD in that case, say like, I am not mentally equipped to do this, but he would have to fight to get retired for that because then he would just be placed on desk duty.
Yeah.
Or he would be, what we, in a place where like we would consider like where you have what they call NIC, no inmate contact.
Mm-hmm.
They could try to make you like do something like that before they retire you and just pay you. But it depends. It all depends. Like every situation is unique and different in that aspect, and you have to be able to prove that because, listen, ICE is probably no different than any department that I've ever dealt with or heard of. Or the department I deal with, where they're not just gonna fucking be like, all right, go ahead, here's 80%, enjoy your retirement.
Yeah.
Not a chance. They're gonna be like, well, actually, this was your fault. You're like,
yeah, especially it's federal too. So you think the feds want to give you that money just willy nilly? Well, not willy nilly, but
I've seen guys. I mean, there was a pretty high profile assault up at Shirley Medium in Shirley. About 3 years ago, whatever it was. And it made the news. It was a pretty bad one. The kid got beaten within an inch of his life by a lat pull-down bar from the gym.
Oh, Jesus.
Khan walked up behind him, didn't even look, just suckered him and beat him to within a millimeter of his life. And he's having to fight to get what he deserves because the department's just not going to pay it out. They're like, no, because they don't want to set a precedent. You know what I mean? Like, so it just goes to show you that again, law enforcement officers are treated. They don't. People don't understand. Like when we go to work, we're a number, and that's it. Like nobody cares about us. The only time they care about you is when you die. They'll throw you a funeral. There'll be a parade, and for 2-3 whole days you'll be elevated to this status, and you'll be a martyr. And then 3 or 4 days after your casket is in the ground, I can guarantee you half a dozen of your coworkers are going to be trying to fuck your wife. So, I mean, it's just the reality of the situation. And again, it goes to a lot deeper things than bigger issues, more underlying issues than that. But yeah, somebody making that point saying like, well, shouldn't he be on leave? Maybe he didn't want to be on leave. Maybe he wanted to get back because maybe he's one of those guys that the job is his outlet. The job is his life, and the only thing worse than, not being at work is being at work, but being stuck on a desk all day.
Yeah.
Because there are guys that are like that. And I work with a bunch of them. I happen to be one of them. I would much rather, be in a cell on a 90-degree day, fully suited up, sucking in pepper spray, than I would being just sitting in a desk in an air-conditioned office, writing, doing whatever, pushing paper.
Yeah, like, everybody's different.
So, I mean, at one point, maybe I'll get to that point in my career where I'd prefer something else. But for right now,
you're not there yet.
I prefer to be busy rather than bored.
Yeah.
And some guys are like that, and some guys never lose that. And maybe this guy's one of them. You can't blame him for that.
No, not at all. And the whole reason I brought it up is because that was in the summer. That I believe that should be, and again, I don't know the extent of what their protocol is for mandatory minimum time off in an incident or anything like that. Granted, that when he didn't,
your doctor clears you to come back, you're clear to come back.
Yeah, and granted, in that when he didn't discharge his firearm, so and he didn't shoot anybody, so that's a whole different thing.
Yes, because once once you shoot somebody, like right now, like he'll be pulled off.
Oh yeah, he's on leave for sure.
Yeah, he's on leave now. He's on paid leave until this is all the investigation's over.
Mm-hmm.
He'll probably be on paid leave for 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
Before this whole thing wraps up, and then they'll have to determine whether he's fit for duty after that. Mentally,
which I'm
PTSD wise.
I'm sure they followed the protocols for that when he got dragged for that incident, and enough time has passed where he's already returned to work, and is also as far as I know, based on what I've read, they were like, oh, the left. Well, he probably has like zero training and blah blah blah. He's just trigger happy. He wanted to kill somebody for revenge and blah blah blah. That's completely unfounded. And also, from what I understand, he's been working for ICE for since at least 2016. So this isn't somebody who just
he's not
recently signed up.
Yeah.
Under the Trump second administration.
Shoot minorities, no.
I mean, for a $50K bonus, I mean,
I've talked to.
Sign me up.
I know more than a few people that are law enforcement that have had to discharge their firearm in the line of duty. It is one of the worst things that they do. Like, none of them want to do it.
No.
Because, one, you're doing it, you're taking someone's life away, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Which is already a hard enough thing for people to cope with in itself. I don't know if you've ever seen the videos. Like, you'll see cops, they'll shoot somebody in the line of duty. It's 100% justified, and they immediately just break down.
Yeah.
Like,
they're
like,
humans.
holy shit. Right. Like, I just fucking killed somebody. Like, what the fuck? It's a terrible situation. And I feel for the officer in a lot of ways, because that guy now has to struggle with the fact that he took someone's life away, whether it was justified, even though it was justified, it's still going to weigh heavy on him for the rest of his life. That's a burden he's going to have to carry.
Unless they're a psycho or sociopath, then yes.
Right, exactly. And he's going to have to, go the rest of his life knowing that, like, some kid's growing up without a mom because he put a bullet in her. And that sucks. And, like, there's a lot of guys struggle with that. And the PTSD that he's going to suffer and the shit that he's going to have to deal with now, forget about, like, and forget about the job related stuff. The stress of not knowing whether or not he's gonna be exonerated.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is already weighing heavy on him. Obviously, he's lawyered up. He's a lot of the times your union will if you can't get one, they'll provide you with lawyers. They'll get you really good defense attorneys, especially in a high profile case like this where you're gonna have liberal scumbags coming for your head. Because
they've already doxed him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, in which case, like, cool, dox me. Like, drive by my house at all hours of the night. I really don't care. Come in my house, and guess what? Like, now like,
it's you can feel that way, but I mean, I'm concerned about him and his family, most importantly, because they didn't have anything to do with this, and now it's putting targets on them.
And well, that's a shitty thing that the left does. That obviously the right doesn't. We don't do that. But to the whole point, like, you're right. Like, that's a much larger scope of an issue that I don't think a lot of people are taking into account either. Like, forget the fact that he's been doxxed and all this other shit. Like, you're gonna have people online that will find anything that you say and use it against you, and to ruin your day just because they get satisfaction out of it somehow.
Preaching to the choir, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, you'll have people go dig something. We see it every year. Even in sports, like, we'll see the NFL draft. Somebody will go, a guy's going to get drafted top 5 overall or whatever, and they'll go find a tweet from 2011 and be like, "Oh, look what he said back in 2011 when he was 13 years old." You really want this guy representing your team? And you're like, yeah, that's a piece of shit move. Like, kid was 13, like, whatever.
How is that relevant now? Like,
exactly. But nonetheless, like, this cop now is going to have to live with the fact that he killed somebody. He's going to have the stress, which is, I can't begin to tell you. I thankfully, knock on wood, haven't had to deal with it. But I know that guys that go out that are on paid leave while they're being investigated, it is one of the most stressful things you can do to an officer.
It's not like they're on vacation.
No, they're not. Right, they're not in Maui fucking sipping fucking Mai Tais with the Howleys.
Yeah, they're being paid, but that's not their main concern. Like,
they're wondering, like, okay, am I gonna worst case scenario, I don't get my best case scenario, I don't get my job back, or best case scenario, I get my job back. Slightly, not worst case scenario is I don't get my job back. That's gonna suck because now what am I gonna do? Especially if you're one of those guys that's been doing it for like 10, 11, 12 years.
Yeah.
Or worse yet, like 17 or 18, and you're 2 years away from being able to retire, and they fire you, and now you can't be retired. Like, now you got to go start over at 40 something years old. Like, that fucking blows.
And it's not going to be in law enforcement.
Nope. Or worst case scenario, you go to jail if they find you, guilty of something that you were trained to do. Not for nothing, but look at Derek Chauvin. The guy is wrongfully imprisoned. And
in my opinion, yes.
And we don't talk enough about that. Like, and not only is Derek Chauvin wrongfully imprisoned, but the 5 or 4 other officers that were with him that day that are also serving 4 or 5 year sentences.
Yeah.
Because they didn't step in to help or do whatever it was they thought they were supposed to do. It's like, dog, that's not how this works. But you have these overbearing liberal judges that want to make examples out of these people. And that's the problem with liberals, is that they're fucking evil. Like, they're just fucking evil. And they will stop at nothing to ruin anybody who they think is not one of them, and or even when they do think they're one of them, if they don't agree with them, they'll cannibalize themselves in a heartbeat.
It all boils down again to what I mentioned before, that false sense of entitlement on their part. They think that they are right and only they are right, and if you don't agree with them 100%, you're completely against them.
And it's not enough to just agree with them. You must participate as well. You know, we see that all the time. Like, it's not enough to just be like, all right, cool, man. Like, gays can get married, whatever. Like, we're fine with that. Have a great life. Like, no. We're gonna have drag queens in libraries reading your 5th graders stories, okay? And you're gonna be okay with that? Like, no, I don't think I do it.
No, why should I be?
Yeah, and then they label you a bigot, and then they want you fired from whatever job it is that you do because you're intolerant or whatever bullshit they come up with. Again, we've beaten this horse, to death, but it's worth beating over and over again because it never changes. And until something changes, then you still have to talk about it. And these people they're unhinged fucking lunatics.
And unfortunately, I think this is what they wanted. They always want something like this to happen so they can use this as an example of ICE or any other type of law enforcement, quote unquote, overstepping their reach, and using deadly force and what have you. And I'm sorry, it's just not, it's never going to work, especially when all the evidence points to this particular individual, 1, not supposed to be there in the first place, 2, obstructing them, and 3, whether advertently or inadvertently hitting the agent with a vehicle, and now this happens.
Right.
They wanted something like this. Although I did see a meme or a post on X from somebody earlier. He's a black dude on X, but he's based, and he was like, "Hey, white people, it didn't work with the white woman. They're gonna try and do this with a black person. They want a George Floyd 2.0 because it's not working with this one."
I've been referring to her as George Floyd with tits. So, because that's basically what it's come down to, is they're trying to make her into a martyr. It's like, no, you're taking a criminal and you're making them into a martyr. We don't do that. Like, we don't subscribe to that here. Like, that's not how things work in real life. Like, we don't care. And the bottom line is like, I don't think the left realizes this, but we already have realized that whatever 71 million of us in this country that voted for Donald Trump, we've already come to whether you like Uncle Donnie or not, that's not the point. Those 71 million people have come to the realization that we're the majority in this country, and we don't need to listen to this little 1-2% that make the most noise.
Yeah.
We don't have to care what you think anymore. Like, and it's like I say on Facebook all the time, like, to our liberal friends that still argue with us or engage us, I don't care what you think of me. I stopped caring a long time ago, actually. Like, you're a retard. I don't have to cater to your stupid idiot beliefs. Like,
yeah, and I'm sick of playing nice with you because you've been calling me everything horrible under the sun for years.
Absolutely.
And I've been trying to be amicable and open-minded to your stance, at least to hear you out and have a conversation
But they don't want
constructively, but they don't want that at all. It's
No,
at
because
least
when you
not a
have
lot of them.
conversation with them, it takes about 3 seconds before their entire belief system starts to fall apart.
And then they say they resort to either a straw man argument or just call you something that doesn't even apply, simply because
or they'll say
you have a disagreement.
I don't care what you say. I don't give a shit if it makes me if it's stupid. I'll be empathetic. I'll always be empathetic to people, even if it isn't the best thing for everybody. Whatever. Like they'll choose empathy over everything. And again, we've talked about it 1,000 times that their levels of empathy have become suicidal.
Yeah,
Like they're like, this woman was so empathetic towards Somalians in Minnesota who've been defrauding the tax base to the tune of $9 billion that she was willing to literally get shot over it.
and throw her kid away, because I say kid because her two older kids were taken away from her by CPS.
Was that true though? I didn't.
As far as I can tell, it's true.
Okay,
And that's part of the reason why she moved.
All right, maybe then. I thought that
I can't 100% say, but all evidence is pointing to only one of her children, the youngest, was living with her in her custody with her wife.
I know, because I know, like, she lost her husband in 2023.
Right.
Her husband passed away from I don't know if it was cancer or something like unexpected. I don't remember how he died, but all I know is that it's been barely 2 years and she's with a chick, and
a bulldog,
she's lost custody of 2 of her kids already. Probably not exact. I hate to say, I don't I say this kind of tongue in cheek, but kind of seriously, like, maybe for the kids, in the kids' interest, it was for the best.
I mean, if that's the example she was trying to set, you
can almost guarantee that kid was going to be trans before you know it.
She put, like you said, these people that don't give a shit about her, a cause that should mean nothing to her, and it doesn't play a factor in her life at all, over at least the one kid that she still has custody of.
It detrimentally affects her life, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, she put that over at least the one child that she still has custody over, and now that kid is without a mom. Both parents, at least biologically.
Yes.
Hopefully that child is in care somewhere and not with the wife of her.
I think right now it's with the grandparents.
Okay, and hopefully they are good people.
The girlfriend or the wife or whatever has no claim to the kid whatsoever.
Okay, good. I mean, clearly they're just as irresponsible as she is. So
I mean, obviously, like, again, Trav, we talk about this shit all the time, dude. Like, even like just off the air, like, we know what it is. We see the world for what it is. These liberal fucking how do I say, like, these liberal hive mind fucking,
it's hive mind. Yep.
The Reddit retards, the people that live on Reddit. This is the world that they think they live in, and then they go on Twitter and they try to talk to people, or Facebook, and they say these things, and it's like, that cop's life was never in danger. You don't know that. You don't know what her intentions were. You don't know if she was going to throw that car in reverse and try to ram the truck that was behind her, and then while that guy was laying on the ground. Like, you have no idea what that woman was going to do.
Yeah,
it's no idea what her intentions were. So why are you defending her? Like, your life depends on it. Is also, like, my other question to liberals. Like, why are you defending her? Like, at least when we defended Kyle Rittenhouse, we could say, like, well, he shot 3 convicted felons, 2 of which happen to be pedophiles.
Yeah,
I mean, sounds good to me. Like,
and
probably give the kid the fucking Medal of Honor.
I'll parallel that case with this one in being, with all the footage that's being seen, same as Kyle Rittenhouse's case, open and shut case of self-defense.
Absolutely.
Like,
Kyle Rittenhouse was retreating the whole time, and then somebody pulled a gun, and then
tried to take his gun, and
then they tried to take his gun and found it out, and then another kid tried to crack his skull open with a skateboard, and that ended poorly for him as well.
And good for him. Yes, he should get a medal. I'm happy that he's now happily married.
Good for Kyle Rittenhouse.
He's got a hot wife, and good for him. Uh,
It's like the age old saying, Trav, you don't bring a skateboard to a gunfight, right?
no, you don't.
Gage Grosskreutz or whatever his name was fucked around and found out.
That queer
Much
got part of his forearm blown off.
Yeah, much like this woman did. And I think ultimately, like, we could probably leave it here with this, like,
Sure.
kind of my final thought here, because again, it's just so ridiculous that we've even got, like, that this is even, like, becoming a point of contention in an argument. And I know the left thinks that, the ICE is the Gestapo and Trump is Hitler and all this other stuff. And that rhetoric needs to die. Like, they always say, like, we need to tone down the rhetoric. Yeah, no, you need to tone down the rhetoric.
No, they're the ones spewing the rhetoric.
They're the ones spewing it.
We are reacting to it.
Fry, Tim Walz, all this other shit. Right. We react to it. You guys are the ones saying it.
And
okay?
we react to it in a sane and succinct way. We're not using hyperbole. We're not using false accusations or parables. We are just like the video footage of all this shows. That's reality. They are still trying to spin it in the opposite direction. It's like,
exactly,
what the fuck are you guys actually doing now? Like, because
they're trying to convince you. They say, like, I mean, I saw, our buddy Jim posted the quote from 1984, and like, and the state's final, the state's final instruction was to not believe what they were seeing and only listen to the state's version, or whatever the quote is from 1984.
Well, did you show him the one where from 1984 it says the women will be the downfall of everything because it's
Listen, dude, when my wife is sitting here being like, we need to repeal the 19th because white liberal women are going to fucking ruin this country. Like, yeah, you're damn right. Like, we cannot be a proper country again until we are okay offending white middle-class women.
Yeah.
Like, once we become comfortable letting them be offended again and just like, okay, you can be offended. That's fine. We just don't care. Like, that's when we can get back to being a great country.
Yeah, well, they weaponize their them being offended, and then that's again leads to their entitlement, leads to them believing that they're some higher entity.
The puss, bro, because then they got all these simps fucking simping out for them, being like, "Yeah, babe, you're right. You're so smart. You're a strong, independent woman who don't need no man."
Which also leads back to the internet being a huge problem in more ways than one, because yet now they're being emboldened by simps. And
because, bro, I hate to break it to you, she's not gonna let you hit it.
No,
she's still gonna go find that fucking Giga Chad from the gym, who probably voted for Trump, and let her fucking cream pie her until the cows come home.
Yeah. Here you are giving her however much you are on her OnlyFans a month, and
yeah, exactly.
Talking to a bot when you think you're talking to her, because it's definitely not.
She wants a man in her pussy, not a pussy for a man. So you got to figure it out.
Yeah, men, get off the internet when it comes to that shit. Get out there, find a good woman, treat her well. She'll treat you well. That's about it.
On to the next one, dude. Like,
sure.
There's a million fish in the sea, but you don't need to sell out your fucking beliefs and your manhood and your masculinity, because toxic masculinity is ruining this country. No, toxic masculinity is what built this country, sweetie. I hate to break it to you, toots, but that's not exactly how this works.
And the thing is, some of it can be toxic. Some guys are douchebags, obviously, but
I mean, but there's a difference. But no guy looks at a dude who's a douchebag and be like, "Oh, that mess. He's toxically masculine."
No, I wouldn't say he's toxic masculine. If anything, I'd be like, no, that guy's a fag.
Douchebag. Yeah, exactly.
Or a douchebag.
Yeah, like what are you covering up for, you fucking loser?
And I call them out.
Exactly.
Because you and I, Joey, we are outspoken assholes. But we're not unreasonable, and we're not unethical when it comes to common sense and just basic human interaction.
No, like, people accuse me all the time of having they're like, you have no empathy. I'm like, oh no, I have empathy.
Just it's
a very realistic level of empathy. Like,
it's I'm on my reserves when it comes to
not every fucking little Facebook story I see about somebody being wronged is deserving of my empathy. Sorry, nope. Not how this goes. No. And by the way, most of those are fake, and you're dumb.
Exactly.
You're dumb for reading them, and you're dumb for sharing them. And also, your wife is probably fucking somebody else. So enjoy that.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, it's somebody like, oh, I just saw a post on X from some dumb bitch. Like, oh, I just saw a little boy in the mall run up to a little girl around the same age and say, I like your sweater. I want to give you a hug. And she said no. And he's like, okay, that's okay. I still like your sweater, though. And then he ran back to his dad and he told him exactly what he just said. And he's like, I'm proud of you, son. And I was like, of all the things that didn't happen, this didn't happen the most.
I'll take things that didn't happen for 2000, Trebek. Like
we live in a day and age where you have a camera on everything. So why didn't you film it if it happened? Yeah, because it didn't. And that's such a ridiculous scenario. Oh, you heard that whole conversation between
it's the Jussie Smollett effect, right? Like I remember one that went around, and this has got to be like close to 15 years ago now. 13 years ago, 2012, 13, 14, somewhere in there. Actually, it had to have been a little after that because it was Trump, so it had to have been 2016-ish, so about 10 years ago. And it was like this woman claimed like, oh, she's like, I decided to put on a hijab and drive to work in my car, and she's like, in every red light, I was at a red light, and then a bunch of men in a pickup truck with red hats on started yelling me and heckling me and throwing things at my car.
Yeah, they threw a noose at me,
and this all this other stuff, and I'm like, the fuck, bitch, that didn't fucking happen. Like it was, or my favorite one, right, was where I'll never forget it. This guy, somebody had posted something about how like they had driven, it was raining, and they had driven by this black guy who was standing on the side of the road in the rain with a flat tire, and nobody was stopping to help him. And this person drove by, and then they went back, and then they drove by again. The guy was still there 2 hours later. And I got out and helped him change the tire. And it was this big fabricated story about like, about how like no one was helping him because he was black.
Yeah, and look how good I am.
And look
because
at how
I did.
I am. I literally took it, I Control-C'd it, Control-V'd it into Google, and I found the Reddit thread from like 6 years earlier that this guy basically copied and pasted the thread. Like he copied and pasted the story and tried to claim it as like he was the one in the story.
Yeah, so virtuous.
I was like, yeah, that actually didn't happen. And he's like, and like, of course, everybody comes to his defense. How do you know? You don't know him. You don't know anything about him. This, that. And I said, well, because I found this Reddit thread with the exact same story from 6 years ago. So either it's the same guy from 6 years ago rehashing a story 6 years later because he's desperate for attention.
Yeah.
Or he just went and copied and pasted it and fucking and just stole it. Like 2 minutes later, the whole thread was deleted. Like the guy deleted the post.
Yeah, because he was full of shit.
I was like, yeah, that's what I thought. Like you guys not know how they were older. They were probably like 10, 12, 15 years older than me. So like they're like in that age of like, they're just old enough to like be like, oh, the internet, this is fun. Like nobody can, like, I can get away with things.
Still have some naivete.
Yeah, and they tried to get away with this shit, and I'm like, nah, fam. Like, Google works, bro. Like, and I literally put, and it was, I mean, Trav, it was verbatim. I mean, they didn't even try to like change a fucking syllable in that story. They just copied and pasted it. And like all these people, I'll never forget who they were. They were regulars down at the Black Bass where I used to work, and they would come in all the time, and they were just such libs. And I remember like this guy and his wife, and they both were like reaming me out on Facebook. Fuck, you don't fucking know him. How dare you question him? He's a good, moral, upstanding citizen. Unlike you, magtar, you MAGA retard, or MAGA, whatever maggots I think they called us at the time.
Yeah, whatever, they still do. Yeah,
whatever little thing they call us. And I was just like, oh, really? I was like, well, here's the thread from Reddit from, fucking 2010.
And like, yeah, see you on Tuesday at the Bass, right?
You and they're like, and I'm like, oh, they're probably like, what's Reddit? You know what I mean? They're like, what the fuck is Reddit? Like, and but yeah,
wait, you're liberal and you don't know about Reddit? That's weird. That's actually weird.
Well, they were older though. Like I said, older than me, so they had no fucking idea. And they were just again trying to be like, they were just trying to virtue signal, and be like, look at us, we're such good people because like we vote a certain way, and like that makes us better than you. And it's like no, and of course like, and it's like her and I don't even care. I hope they hear this. Her husband was like this limp-wristed, effeminate fucking. Like, just, I wouldn't even call him a beta cuck. Like, he was worse than beta. Like, whatever, like, whatever the, like, most, like, simp man is. Like, I remember, like, he was trying to brag to me one day because he, like, lifted something up that weighed, like, 80 pounds. And I'm like, cool.
I think it's technically Omega if we're going by, like, using the Greek terms, right? Because that's the end. Like, you're done.
Right, I'm the alpha and the omega, like
Hmm.
that's me. But anyway, long story short, these people. But my whole point of this, and to leave it here, is like this suicidal empathy that these people they have is got to stop. And again, we don't care because the men that are on the side of this women that are trying to defend it, for the most part, like I said, they're a bunch of limp wristed simps that couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag, and
I'll
they
just call them
desperately
fags.
yeah, they desperately need people like us. And again, they're in the theaters and the arts and all this other shit, and it's like, yeah, cool, dude. Like, I'll be sure to go see your screenplay, and be entertained for 5 minutes. But by the way, quit fucking up Stranger Things. Like, we don't, being gay is not a superpower. But
I stopped watching that after season 2. I was like, I don't like
yeah,
this anymore.
I
That
I
didn't
still
take
liked
long.
it. I still finished it. It was really good. And then but then they had to insert the gay thing into the final season.
I
And
read about that.
I'm not gonna
Don't
lie,
care.
it's definitely delayed my going back, like my anxiousness to go finish the season, because I'm like, do I really want to spend, because like every season, every episode's like 2 hours in that too, so it's like watching a full-blown movie. But
Oh, I heard the ending is that kid does it, and he
yeah,
basically kills the big guy, and then the series just seamlessly transitions into being Gem and the holograms. Uh,
yeah, it's
yeah.
just, it's like, he's like, oh no, he's like, how are we gonna defeat Vecna? I know, with gay.
Hmm.
Like, well, I mean, that did work in South Park that one time when they went to the pile,
But
to
that's
stop
South Park.
the Goobacks, from coming back.
But that was South Park, and when it was still self-contained episodes, so
Yeah.
it doesn't have to make sense. Everything
This is
resets.
remember oh, they're all like singing and planting trees. I'm like, hold on, guys.
Oh wait,
Guys,
this is actually
this is gay. Like, yeah, this is gayer than all of us being in a pile having
having
gay
sex with each other.
Back
All
to the
right,
pile.
everyone, back to the pile.
pile.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna go watch that episode after. That
Hell
was a
yeah,
fucking-
I think that's a
that's
good
been a
place to
while.
leave it off, because you know what? I'd rather do that myself than have to see any more about this goddamn shooting, because for me, the main talk about it has run its course. So I'm glad to talk about it now with you here. And
Yes.
now
Oh,
it's just like, well, I'll let the news roll out. I'm not really gonna keep following
Listen,
it as much as I was.
nothing's gonna happen whether we talk about it or not. It's not gonna change anything. So it is what it's gonna be. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to Tim Walls having to step down, because this was a very convenient distraction from the fact that
He did a
Tim
week
Walz,
earlier, yeah.
yeah, that Tim Wall. Well, no, he said he's not running for re-election. He's not resigning his
Oh,
governor,
right, yes, yeah. He's
which
just
is what I
not gonna
waited,
run.
which is what I think was like imminent, or at least it was getting closer to imminent. And
And now
then
this happened. Now he's like, "Oh, Ice, get out of here."
and Jacob Frey's like, get the fuck out of our city. It's like, shut up, you fucking twink. Like, don't think we forget that you're the fucking loser that cried at George Floyd's casket.
And it's
Make
also perfect timing for them, because this is a huge distraction since it happened in the state,
massive distraction.
and that they were the main focal point of the biggest news story leading into that week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after Nick Shirley's video. So, yeah, 2 days. Well, no, a day after, or was it 2 days after?
I think it was two
After
after the Shirley video. Well, no, 'cause
no,
the Shirley video.
well, the Shirley
like a week
video
and a
was
half.
on the Friday.
Yeah, and then the day, Tim Walz announced he wasn't running, and then I think it was
On
the
the
day, the
5th.
next day.
Oh, 2 days. Yeah, because the 7th was Wednesday of last
Yes,
week.
right,
So,
right.
Yep. So yeah, I'm
Yep.
not saying it's a coincidence or it's tied it all together, but it's awfully convenient.
It's very convenient for the Dems. I think it was bound to happen because they keep pushing these, they push these people to do these things. And again, like I wish this woman knew, like, if you told her like, oh, you're gonna die for this cause, she'd probably, that's great, I'll die for this cause. It's like, you realize no one's gonna remember you like in 6 months, and you're
It's
not
gonna,
affect
and when they
them.
do, it's gonna be for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, and right, it's gonna be like, oh, actually, yeah, the cop wasn't as well within his right to do that. Oh, actually, yeah, he is innocent.
Yeah. Actually,
you
you
actually
shouldn't
were
have
the
been there in
dumbass.
the first place, and you did hit him with the car.
And then you're just gonna be remembered as the dumb blonde, and we'll call you George Floyd with tits, because they'll probably burn some Footlockers down or whatever.
And not
And-
particularly good tits.
Not particularly good tits. I've seen
Gross
that
tits.
I wish I had 4 thumbs so I could give the 4 hands. I give those titties 4 thumbs down. But Yeah, it's like you died for nothing, and you died so that Jacob Frey and Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar could parade you around as a political puppet, like as a pawn
A
in their
martyr.
little political game. Uh, that's it. And they'll once they're done with you, they'll throw you. They're gonna cast you aside, and your family will not see a dime, and they will never hear a fucking word from them
Yep.
because you're useless to them. So
Yeah.
anyway,
I hope
that's
she
that.
enjoys her prize.
Yeah, I mean, she got what 2 to the chest and 1 to the head. So I mean, I gotta say, pretty good shooting by the agent, by the way, for getting hit by a car and being able to deliver a lethal shot. Excellent work.
Yeah, all while holding his phone still. Like,
I mean, I know he probably doesn't want to hear that, but hey, man, from one marksman to the next, great job.
hey, I'm sure Kyle Rittenhouse is proud.
Yeah, probably, at least secretly. None of us are happy you're dead. The woman's dead, but
No.
also, damn, good job, dude.
But hey, shit, you got the
I
job
mean, who
done.
knows? Maybe
Like-
maybe she was gonna go maybe she was gonna go down the street a half mile, a quarter mile, run a red light, and smoke a family of 4 on their way home from actually doing shit with their family.
Yeah, you
So,
don't know because at that point she was a fleeing suspect.
correct.
Yeah. But yeah, I
So-
think Kelsey said it too. Yeah, that lady had kids and put herself in that
But-
situation. It's 100%.
Yeah, man. I mean, when you have a family, you have to put your family as your top responsibility, and she did not do that. She put illegal Somalian immigrants as her top priority.
And social media clout.
Yeah, and social media clout, and then she decided that it would be funny to try to run over a federal agent with her car, which I can assure you does not end well.
Or at least look like pull up like I'm fucking Renee Good and this is welcome to Jackass, and she tries
Hey,
to
I'm Renee. Welcome to Jackass.
She
Is
tries
that
to,
your- is that
like-
your Jackass movie soon.
she tries to, yeah, that's right, but like she tries to look like she's about to hit him but then doesn't, like that in her mind. It was like, oh, I'm gonna do a cool move and like not hit him, and I'll
Yeah.
just scare him. Oh well, you hit him enough where you hit him, and
Watch this sweet trick.
yeah,
Sweet trick, bro. Good looks.
dude, the best meme, because I've said this. I saw an accident like last year, or 2 years ago, right in front of me, and I drive by to pass them as the light changed. Well, it had changed, and I was clear, and they're both yelling at each other. And the one woman who was totally at fault, is like screaming at the other person, and I go,
Naturally.
I was like, oh shit, you're fucked. You totally hit them. And also, you can't park there. And she's like, mind your fucking business. I was like, oh, you want me to pull over and bear witness to the police when they show up to file
Yeah,
a
right.
report? Because I totally am on their side, not yours.
I'll totally do that. I mean,
Because,
it's
yeah,
probably
you
sure.
ran you turned left when you weren't supposed to.
I'll tell you
and-
what, I
yeah.
got my dad out of a pretty serious. My dad was in a serious accident like that, and we know what saved him was some random dude that pulled over and gave the police a statement,
Mm.
and told my dad that told the cops that what my dad had done was doing, and what the other guy had did. The other guy had gone over the double yellows, like into the oncoming lane
Yeah.
to go around, stop traffic, and T-bone my dad as he was trying to make a left, like through the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And but he was in a lane, like there should have been no cars coming from that direction because double yellows. And the guy tried to claim like he was in the turning lane and all this other stuff, and the guy just happened to fucking give a statement to the cops and say like, nope, this is what happened, and he was a witness in the case, and that ended up clearing my dad.
Good.
Yeah, so if you do see stuff like that in the traffic thing, it is good if you have the time and you're able to, please stop and testify on the side of the person who is innocent, because a lot of times, like, a lot of people don't have dash cams and can't prove that shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and
it's a 50-50 thing. And
yes. But yeah, the meme itself was somebody put Trump in front of the telephone pole that her car eventually ran into
Mhm.
after she was shot, and it's just Trump and then a speech bubble standing like right in front of the car and saying, "You can't park there."
It's so awesome. It's so wrong, but it's so awesome.
And
Nope.
I think with that being said,
But
yeah, we'll fucking wrap it up.
yeah,
So you can get to watching your football. Actually, I'm gonna check it out too.
I think we got a close game still. So yeah, 7-3 Houston.
All right.
We got 4 minutes to go in the second. So I'm going to go down and watch this first half. And
Another low-scoring game so
Steelers
far.
are driving, though. Steelers are well within field goal range. Ooh, 4th and 2 at the 12. This is ballsy. They're going for it.
Dude, they've all been going for it.
Oh, they got it, too. Wow. Ballsy call.
4th and 12?
4th and 2 from the 12.
2 from the
They
12.
were within field goal range. They could have taken the 3 to get it to 7-6 with 4 minutes to go, but they decided to go for it. That's
Shit.
pretty fucking ballsy. So
Well, you heard it here now. I can't say first, but you heard it here now.
you heard it here.
Live
At
update
some point.
by Joey Fats. And also be sure to tune into Row 1, Seat 1.
Yes,
on Tuesdays.
Plenty of reaction tomorrow night from all the weekend's happenings and a preview of next weekend's happenings.
Be sure to check that shit out, guys. It's
It'll
a
be
really
fun, I
fun show.
But Trav, I'll talk to you 2 weeks.
Yes,
Now
that's
the-
right. We'll be off next week, folks. But until then, it's always a great time talking to you, Joey, in front of
Absolutely, dude.
our captive audience here. And hey, we'll see how both our teams do this weekend.
That's they just survive in advance, baby. That's all there is to it.
Hell yeah, and it's all for the fun of watching football, man. That's
Fucking
why I
A,
like
bruh.
it.
Best time of year.
Goddamn right. All right, brother.
Goddamn right, you motherfucker. All right. I'll talk to you in 2 weeks, man.
All right.
All right, bud. Good show. Talk to you later.
Indeed.
Peace,
Later.
everybody. Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.